Welcome back, everybody. So my next movie review for you is Blade. So Blade was directed by Stephen Norrington. It stars Wesley Snipes as Blade. We also got Chris Christopherson as Abraham Whistler. We also got Stephen Dorff as Deacon Frost, plus many others. So this movie is a Marvel superhero movie. It's one of the first that ever got made in the Marvel universe. And it was released in 1998 and made on a budget of $164 million. This movie follows a hybrid vampire in the name of Blade, played by Wesley Snipes, who basically his mission is to hunt down every single vampire he can possibly can kill, knowing that he is half vampire, half human. He has their strengths, but none of their weaknesses as such, and which just that alone will make this movie just a good movie anyway. And then if you stick Wesley Snipes in as well, it just makes it even better. This is my favourite out of the trilogy as well. Blade 2 is a good movie. Blade 3 is a bit of a comedic show, I have to admit, which will be reviews for a later day. But this movie, I remember the first time I watched it was a big thing when this got released, especially when I was at school. Everyone was like, oh, you gotta watch Blade, it's so awesome, and all that kind of stuff. When I finally watched it, I was like, yep, I 100% agree. It's absolutely an awesome movie. It's very action packed. It's what you expect. You got Wesley Snipes in here, who is a great martial artist anyway. Give him some guns, a long leather jacket, and a few one-liners, and he actually makes a very good movie in every single way. Villain in this is actually really good in the form of Stephen Dorff as Deacon Frost. He has a master plan to basically use Blade to become something greater. Blade is known as the Daywalker, and the vampires do very much fear this guy. Like I said, he has all their strengths and none of their weaknesses. He can walk during the daylight and not burst into flames. Garlic steaks doesn't really affect him, but yet he's still that human kind of side to him. He is very dark. He is very deep and brooding. He doesn't mix with people very well in any way, shape, or form. And basically his whole mission is to hunt vampires. The whole premise of this movie is that literally there is a hybrid vampire who hates vampires. He's half vampire. He was born half vampire, half human, and because of this, and the fact of his mum's death was created from a vampire, his big revenge mission is to basically kill every single vampire he can get his hands on. It's really good, to be fair. The way this movie was put out as well, and the way that the production of this movie and the way this movie was actually set out is pretty good. It's not a hard movie to follow in any way, shape, or form. I admit the storyline is a little bit predictable in places. You can see it coming very early on. But generally, as a watch, as an entertainment value kind of watch, it's actually a really good movie. You know, the action sequences in this movie are actually pretty well done. The choreographed fight scenes, I am rusty as you like with movie reviews. The fight choreographing in this movie is actually really good. Like I said, Wesley Snipes is a good martial artist, sticking with a gun and a sword as well, and a few one-liners. It just makes for a very good movie. Okay, his dialogue is not hard, it's not complicated in any way, but just for entertainment value in this, it's just an enjoyable watch. It really is. I just love the way that they shot this. It is quite fast paced in places, especially the beginning fight scene. And throughout the whole of this movie, it's actually kind of fast paced. There's not really any kind of moments in here where you start to feel bored or, oh, this is dragging on. It is quite fast paced. They do not waste any time getting into the story, and they do not waste time with slower moments, because essentially, like I said, this is just a vampire hunting vampires, and I just like how they did this. There's certain movies out there, certain superhero movies out there, and I'm not going to name any as such, but they're not bad movies in any way, shape or form, but some of them you just don't get to see enough of the hero doing what he's doing best. In this movie, you get to see that pretty much all the way through the movie. There are a few slower moments, but not enough for you to go, oh, get a bit bored now, which I like. It's quite fast paced. Like I said, the storyline is not hard to follow in any way, shape, or form. I like what they did. Okay, fair enough. The script wise, with Wesley Snipes, like I've already said, he doesn't really say a huge amount. He has got this I give no fucks kind of attitude, but it works. villain-wise in this, in the form of Stephen Dorff as Deacon Frost, I actually do generally like him. He is actually quite creepy. He's a little bit unpredictable as well, but essentially he is a vampire who wants to dominate the world. And you get to see that, and you can see that he's quite ruthless. You can also see that the vampires have absolutely no conscience or anything or nothing for anybody in any way, shape, or form. They do not care about anything, which I like, which is basically what a vampire is. It's soulless. And it's, for a villain, he is quite good, I have to admit. I admit the villain in the second Blade movie is probably better. I have to, because they're doing something slightly different, but it's because it's the first movie of this trilogy. The first movie of any kind of movie series is always going to be the best. It's as simple as that. There's very few movies where the sequel was better. The main one being Terminator 2. That is actually better than the first one, but I do, it's one of them. I just generally just love the feel of this first one, which they kind of lose touch with the second one, and they seriously lose touch with the third one as well. But as a whole, if I was to rate this movie, it would be a strong 10 out of 10 for me. It is very entertaining. It's, once again, Wesley Snipes is a good action hero for me. It's somebody I used to watch while growing up. And if you stick, like I said, put him in a leather jacket, a few one-liners, a sword, some seriously good guns, and some good little gadgets in there, it's going to make for an entertaining watch, to be fair. Putting quite a lot of violence. It is quite a violent movie in certain places, I have to admit. But at the end of the day, that's what you're getting. And it's nice to see. It's you get what you see is what you get. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. It's just a very well, not very violent. It's a violent action hero movie with Wesley Snipes, so you know kind of what's coming. So on that note, like I said, I would give this a strong 10 out of 10 without a doubt. So on that note, please tell me what you think. Put it in the comments down below as normal. Hope you all have a great rest of the day, whatever you're doing. Please take care and goodbye.